A guy like Justin Geduld back from injury, what does that add to the squad?
Yeah, I think it's a great boost for our squad for the weekend. I think although Yapi did a great job at fly-off in Dubai, I think definitely missed Justin. He brings something different to the team, and especially in attack. I think he's just a playmaker and he controls the game so nicely in a 10 position. So happy that he was cleared for team selection and that we can take the same 13 guys into Cape Town.
How has your week been in terms of the preparation and just the main work-ons from last week?
Yeah, I think after looking at the footage from last weekend, everybody realised that we can be a lot better. I think probably a bit still rusty going into the Dubai tournament because we didn't play a tournament before Dubai, and definitely something that we want to be better. Those individual roles and responsibilities to make the system better, and I think we can only make a step up from that performance in Cape Town. And I think what we would look to do is to build on those two performances of the last two games where we played Scotland and Fiji. I think in regards to momentum and what we wanted to achieve and how we controlled the game, especially against Scotland, definitely something that we would try to build on here in Cape Town.
Yeah. Neil, you spoke of the squad being in a bit of a rebuilding phase. I mean, does that require perhaps a realignment of expectation for the team going into this event?
Yeah, well, I think we're South Africans and we will always have a high expectation, and I think going into the season we said what we would like to do is just to have that consistency of the past 2 years. If you look back at the Dubai tournament, maybe not as consistent as we were hoped to, but luckily we get another opportunity this weekend to be that consistent. And I think we must also realise where we are now and that we're in a different phase and that we got a lot of new players in the system. But in saying that, we also knew that we were performing under par last weekend and something that we definitely want to make a step up on this weekend in Cape Town.
You've got quite a challenging pool, and obviously the last game on day one against New Zealand, who won last weekend. I mean, what are your thoughts going into that big game?
Yeah, listen, that first one against Samoa is going to be a physical one, and I think we played them in Dubai and they showed they're capable of beating big like New Zealand or Fiji or any other team on the day. So we're going to have to make sure that we focus for that game and that we're ready for war when we play against them. And then Zim is always going to be tough African derby, and then that last one against New Zealand, I think they showed last weekend and in the Commonwealth Games and World Cup that they are one of the best sides now on the circuit and probably the team to beat this year.
And then in terms of the new players, you mentioned the only debutant obviously was Impy last week. How's he settling in this week with the second tournament coming up?
Yeah, to be honest, I think Impy actually did really well for his first tournament, and we actually threw him in the deep end by putting him in the starting lineup. So he's done really well, and happy with how he progressed over the last weekend. Still making the odd mistakes and inaccurate decision making, but definitely something with game experience that we will do better and develop into.
And for some of these viewers, obviously it's their first time in front of their home crowd. It's such a big 55,000 people, as the mayor said. Yeah. How are you managing how they're going to handle that pressure at home?
Yeah, I think we see it as a positive. We only get one opportunity here to play in front of our home crowd, and I think for those youngsters, probably a bit of a nerve-wracking experience running onto the pitch for the first time, but hopefully they will swing it around into a positive, not a negative. I think they all played it on big stages before in Hong Kong. Most of those guys that's in the team now played in Hong Kong last season, where they really did well. So I think the vibe in those two stadiums is not any different from each other, and hopefully from the experience that they had in Hong Kong, that will help them to handle the atmosphere in the stadium here on the weekend.